Taurus.
Taurus, this is your February forecast for 2017, and we have a fabulous month. We have a solar eclipse, we got a lunar eclipse. We're going to talk more about what that will entail for you. So pay attention. At the very end of this video, there's going to be a link where we're just going to dedicate to the eclipse's ball itself so that you can get more insight as how this will be affecting you personally. All right? But the month itself is really powerful in the sense that right now your focus, Taurus, is all on career. You're thinking, you're brainstorming, how can I move ahead, how can I build, how can I structure, how can I make the most out of it? And of course, it's the annual tour of the sun in your career area. So full year to next time, Mercury will be joining up though and supporting the sun, which will allow you to actually vocalize those things that you feel might become very important, that you can bring up with your supervisor or your boss, where if you're going to have any reviews, it's a great time to have that. Mercury will give you the gift of gab to stand and state your own cause. This is enormous, very, very important for you. Venus too, though, has been cruising now in January, the 11th house, which has to do with your hopes and dreams. So I could see how you have been envisioning all those things that you could see for yourself that you would like 2017 to fill your cup with, right? And as you're sending it out, it is all good. It's like placing your intentions because you're feeling it, okay? Venus is our emotions too, right? In the sign of Pisces, which makes it extra creative. So, and of course it met up with Neptune earlier there in January. So I can see how this year you're really wanting a different twist, a different flavor if you wish, right? So this is already writing now in your consciousness. Make the most out of it because Venus will be moving into your 12th house, then working behind the scenes for the better part of the month. And so now is the time to put it all out. I can see how you've been flapping your wings here in January, being social, all right? The 11th house is not just hopes and dreams, it's interaction with friends and associates, groups and organizations. It's you being extremely charming like this social butterfly, right? So maybe you do need a little rest up after all of this social activity. You'll get that after the 3rd. Then on the 7th, Mercury, which is now preparing for all these talks as far as your career goes, from the 7th, that's when he will join into that career area, which will give you that gift of gab, where you will feel now that you can communicate, you can express yourself. If you are giving any presentations, for example, that would be absolutely fabulous because Mercury is super clear and aligned, ready to go. Then let's talk about Mars, because Mars, see, has just gone into your 12th house. And 12th house is the area where we retreat a little bit, where we're needing a little bit more time for ourselves to just download, to listen to our own thoughts. Venus is going to join this area as well. And having Uranus there, well, I would say, pay attention to your dreams, okay? Your nocturnal dreams, your daydreams too, by the way, but pay attention to what communication is coming from these higher realms. It's a very spiritual area. This is when you are mostly true to yourself, when consciousness really steps it up to those higher dimensions, and you could be downloading a lot. So I would say bring out a journal, and if you do and you write down your dreams for February, down the road a few months from now when you look back, you'll go, OMG, right? Because you're getting guidance from your own spiritual guides also. Fascinating, exciting time for those kind of things to take place. Jupiter is in your 6th house, doing really well. It has really changed up your routines a lot, hasn't it, Taurus? You're feeling that you've been more generous on your schedule, that you haven't been hammering down so hard like years prior. It's like you've given yourself some allowance. And is that you? giving yourself allowance, or is it by the grace of the universe that has opened doors so that you can experience a little bit more time? I feel it's a blend of both. Now, Jupiter will be retrograding this month from February 6th to June the 10th. So you can see that things might slow down a little bit here, but Jupiter is a planet that's not really giving us a hard time under retrograde. She's still generous. She's still looking out for the higher good for us, right? But your 6th house has to do with health. This could be a time between February and June to check out your health, what you're eating, diets, so forth. Are you working out or not? Jupiter could help you get back on track. That's a retrograde, getting back to whatever you committed to earlier that you might have just slid away from, and start up again. So for that, Jupiter is really, really good. Saturn is in your 8th house, so yes, we've talked about that from time to time. Saturn, the taskmaster, it's also that karmic energy, and this is in a bond here between you and your partner. The resources that you share between you. Saturn's moving direct. It's really picking up speed. It slowed down there somewhat in 2016, delayed a few things where talks were open but not finalized. Well, you can start seeing how those communications might just return and allow you to now see eye to eye, heart to heart, and come to some kind of mutual agreements, but you're securing these mutual funds, resources, what you split and share between you. This also goes for whatever monies you might have tied up in investments and your retirement funds and so forth, stocks, bonds, commissions, royalties. You're focusing to a point where you know that this is the time to go after it, be aware and conscious of it, create the changes that are needed so that you can secure your future. 28 years before he's going to come back around helping you to focus. Some of you might feel that, oh God, that's so boring. It's like, yeah, it could be. But then again, you want to think long term, because that's what Saturn is doing, is looking out for your long-term investments and savings. All right? So you want to make sure to make the most of it. It's 24 degrees. Once it goes out to that 30th degree or 0 degrees of Capricorn, that's it. But that's not before sometime December, so you still have the most part of this year to really work it. So, like I said, Venus moves into that hidden area of our cells on the 3rd, and Mercury moving into your career area on the 7th. Now the 9th, 10th, and 11th, actually straight through the 16th, that whole week there, action, action, action. And so I know that you Tauruses really like when it gets going, right? And what you can come to see is this individuality, this independent streak that you have. Something is coming together. You're putting it out there, but you're getting immediate response for it. So on the 9th and 10th, it looks like this is when you can expect those changes to come. It's something that you've been contemplating for a long time, but now bringing it up and out. Venus, which rules both money and romance. I feel there on the 10th that communication, which you're going to be having, is all good. It's solid. It's mutual understanding. It just feels like it's so meant to be. On the 11th, there's this higher perspective coming into being from Jupiter to the Sun, which is you. And so that has to do with your career, but also your goals. 10th house. Always remember, yes, we talk about career. That is the area of it. But the 10th house is also those goals that we work for, aiming at. The Sun is there right now, receiving this beautiful aspect from Jupiter. Only happens like this with a trine twice a year. So it's one of the better days of 2017. The news could be excellent for you. I feel, again, it's not just like a gift falling into your lap, though it might be felt that way. But do recall, you have worked for it earlier, and now here comes the gift. On the 14th, I could see how you right now is wanting to secure it. Take that, whatever, money, gift, security, and put it into that savings. Saturn in the 8th house. All right, so you're having something here that you know now can open up doors that will allow you to build more security in the future. So action taking place here, any communication with male figures, whether that be your significant other, it could be a supervisor, a boss, could be a banker, investment broker. But on the 16th, you can have help for somebody coming together, seeing what it is you're trying to achieve, this person kicking into action, making it happen, so you have a clear slate and feeling that you are all up to par. It's coming in a timely manner too, because the sun on the 18th is moving out of this area of your career into the sign now of Pisces, a very creative area and a very social area too. So you can see that that social energy is going to pick up. Venus just left on the 3rd, but here we go. The sun is coming in. So I'm seeing you're just like this beautiful social butterfly, Taurus. And if you're working with any groups, organizations, you can come to see how they too can come in and somehow be of inspiration or of support, but it could also be you now coming in as an inspiration to somebody else as well. So don't forget that. When the sun here is in Pisces, that is you meeting up with your creative self. And some of you might say, well, I'm not creative, but we all are. We are all creative on some level, and especially when the sun is honing in, the sun being your essence and honing into your higher consciousness, which is Pisces. You may listen to music differently. You might see colors differently. Even if you aren't a musician creating music, even if you're not a painter, sculptor, you might come to see that art or music this month might just open up your senses to higher sense of appreciation. Maybe you'll be out and about looking for those things as well. Then we have some real action on the 21st. It looks like you might have some very important communications. This is something that's going to behoove you, Taurus, all right? I feel your individualistic self is really coming to the forefront. You're free enough to put it out there and stipulate and say, this is what I want. This is why I want it. And see, when communication is that clear, it's received extremely clear, and then your confidence is behind it. And I'm feeling when you can really, if we can say toot your own horn, which sometimes works, sometimes it absolutely doesn't. But this is one of the times, Taurus, that it really will work, because it's their top of your chart. That is Mercury expressing those higher goals, coming from a place of confidence, coming from a place of certainty. You're just feeling very at ease with. And when something comes across natural like that, then it's not forced, right? It's just all going to come out. Just trust the energy to carry you. What I would want to caution you about, there's only one actual real day apart from the 1st and the 2nd that we can raise the little red flag, right? That will be on the 22nd. Now, you can count in a day prior and a day after. This is when Mars meets up with Pluto. And something is not being seen eye to eye. Mars, you're very fiery in your actions. You're acting maybe even sometimes without thinking. And this is because Mars is in Aries, right? It rules Aries. It can be impulsive. We act without thinking. Consequences could be many things, but you don't want to have that happen on the 22nd. You can come to encounter here a Plutonian type energy, people in power, which, for example, speeding tickets, every couple of times a year, we know that we're maybe not paying attention to the speed which we are putting forward, but somebody else is watching, and then boom, right? Then you get the picture. Or you could be triggered by somebody trying to be a little bit too dominating over you, and you might just react to it. It could be the other way around. Maybe you are being a little bit too Plutonian and will create reactions in somebody else. So 22nd, so give that the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, you should be out in the clear. So we'll just lay a little low, because these forces are what creates volcanoes. Then you know what force I'm talking about. It can lay still for long and then boom, right? And we have physically a lot of active volcanoes right now here on planet Earth, right? So we want to keep a volcano watch too in the back of our mind, see what takes place there around the 22nd. The 23rd and 25th are days where I feel any kind of communication, again, can come to behoove you. You are on so solid ground, Taurus, this month, that no wonder you're feeling confident, you're bringing it all forward, and there might be some unexpected changes coming there on the 27th. This could come from a male person. And I feel the spontaneous energy of it all could just open up, I won't say a can of worms, but it could open up something that you've been dreaming about, harvesting, holding in the back of your mind, which suddenly now could become revealed. This revelation, I feel for you, is enormous. It's also in your 12th house, so you might want to check to see what dreams you're having. Just around these few days here, keep a journal. Might surprise you, because revelation is definitely there. And then also, this Mars is not just conjuncting Uranus, but it's also opposing Jupiter. So there could be choices that needs to be looked at. You might even be surprised at how you might shift vision very quickly, or somebody around you could shift their perspective quickly due to whatever this choice is about. But exciting, definitely, that it will be. The new moon in your chart this month here shows up in your 11th house for hopes and dreams. This new moon is also a solar eclipse, right? And we're going to talk about in this following video, you will see what those hopes and dreams can be all about. The full moon will be on February 11th, showing up in your 4th house for home, family, parents, the foundation of your life. This is where the full moon is going to illuminate for you, but it's also a lunar eclipse. That's February 11th. The solar eclipse is February 26th. So listen, it's always great to speak with you. So now you just want to go and click on this video for the eclipses of February 27th and get some more insight on it. I'll see you next month.